Welcome to the Core of Success podcast. Entrepreneurship, success, health, life, big things are in your future. And now, your hosts, Sean and Mike.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode 4 of the Core of Success podcast. Thank you for being with us. Today, we are your hosts. I'm Sean.
And I am Mike. Ready to go.
We're doing this one. This is the first one we've done where we're not actually in the same room. So this is kind of cool.
Yes.
A little technology.
Yes. Much better. I don't have to see your face.
Yeah, it is nice. I was thinking the same thing. Actually, not being with you is nice to see. You know, we just came back from a wonderful first time. We've been friends out 25 years. This is actually the first time we've went on a family vacation together. Yes. Surprisingly, it went pretty well.
It did. Surprisingly, we're still friends.
Yep. Well, we eased into it. Nice 3-dayer, nothing crazy, just to see how it goes, and maybe we'll try it again at some point.
I still like to do that. One of my dreams here at the Abs Company is we're gonna do an RV cross country. I think that's our next step, to do that.
That would be fun. The We Change Lives from the Core tour, right?
That's right. Visiting a gym, college, university near you, health fitness center. Absolutely.
One a day, 30 days. I'm liking this. 30 days on the road. We Change Lives from the Core tour.
Yes.
Coming to a city near you. I like it. Write that down.
Yes, I will. I don't know if we'll still be married at the end of the Core tour. The We Change Lives from the Core. It could be We Change our divorce tour.
Well, let's just be clear. We're not married. You mean to our respective spouses.
Oh, yes. Oh, right. Yes. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah.
Because no, I don't think we're breaking up, but the wives maybe. We'll see. So, yes. While we were away this week, one of the things we try to do when we're away is we like to remain active. We don't just take a vacation from all that either. So we would go to the gym each day or playing beach games, doing all that sort of stuff. And I think it dovetails into what we want to talk about today. And it's one of our core values here at the Abs Company. And it's one that we really hold dear. I mean, we hold them all dear, as we talked about in the last episode. But this one's especially dear to us. And we believe that fitness changes lives.
100%. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
and I think, anybody who's listening to this, who's in the industry, is in the fitness industry, at some level, you got into it because you also believe that fitness changes lives. You want to share that with other people because it's such a powerful message.
Yeah, and oftentimes I think we really focus on just even the physical part of that, how it changes lives, right? You lose weight, now you got a 6-pack abs, you got a flatter stomach, etc. But we'll talk about in a second all the incredible benefits of the exercise, right? And what you get from it beyond just even the physical stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And I would like to just point out to those of you who are listening, every probably few seconds or so, you're going to hear a little beep. That's not because one of us had a good idea. It's because the guy on the other side is not real tech savvy. Doesn't know how to turn off his email alerts. But just bear with us.
That could be a point. When we say that, you could actually bing, you're going to write down a point. So that'd be good.
We'll see. Well, hopefully it comes on at a good time.
Yes.
So let's talk about for a second. So we obviously we believe that fitness changes lives. It's a core value, both at the business and for us personally. But the benefits of a healthy lifestyle, they're undeniable, right? You have a decreased risk of heart disease, cancer, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, weight control, on and on and on. I mean, these are things that should seem very important to anybody who's living, right?
Yeah, man.
So,
yeah. And even beyond that too, just to jump in here, as far as in the business side, like even if you say, you know what, man, like, yeah, I'm not really concerned about my cholesterol level. What the heck? That was a good point I just made. I'm not really concerned about my cholesterol level and that kind of thing, but just like your mental firepower, right? Don't you want to be sharp at work? Don't you want to be on top of your game? Like as soon as you walk in, there's people that come in, it's like, oh man, yeah, you come in work at 8:45 or whatever, dragging ass. You really don't get rocking until 10:30, 11. That doesn't work, especially in our business.
It's time for lunch.
Right? What's that?
And then it's time for lunch.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got that improved, that mental firepower, man. You're just on top. You got a better energy levels on point. So all that big time,
I mean,
big
the
benefit.
benefits are countless and they're undeniable. Well,
Yes.
what's surprising for a lot of people here to hear some of the statistics about inactivity, and let me give you a couple.
Yeah.
23% of adults worldwide get the recommended amount of exercise. Only 23%, right? So those of you doing math, 77% of adults around the globe do not get enough physical activity. I mean, that's amazing. It's really amazing. Just given the fact that all the benefits are there for you, why wouldn't you do this?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
here's something a little more disturbing to me. More than 80% of the world's adolescent population, so basically our teenagers, don't get enough exercise. And what's so disturbing about that, what do you think those folks become? They become the adults, right? So you have actually less adolescents getting the recommended amount of exercise than you do adults. So when that generation becomes the adult population, you're going to have adults getting less activity. So it's just a really bad spiral effect we're on.
Yeah,
I can remember growing up, we had gym class every day. You remember that?
Yeah, of course, man. Gym class. And, look, you'd go in. Look, and I think, too, for us, we love gym class. I mean, we love that fact, but I think it goes in dovetail.
Class you passed. That's why.
That is true. Yes. And the showers. I always like the showers part of the gym class. But no, yeah, I mean, that was a class that I look forward to, man. But yeah, look, in my other life too, as you know, I was a physical education teacher. And, that was tough because here I am fired up, pumped up about exercise and just these habits that these students had. And a lot of it stems from their family, right? And just their mom and dad didn't exercise and their grandparents were sloths and, this type of thing. And then they came to me and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And no, they weren't feeling that. So yeah, that's really scary, man. That 80%. I mean, that's not good.
80%. Yeah, it is. It's really something. And a lot of times, the schools that do still have the physical education programs, a lot of that time is spent not actually doing physical education, right? They may be learning a little bit about health and that sort of thing, but they're not being active, right? We're just not instilling the right habits, and that's long-term detriment there for sure.
Yeah, for 100%. Terrible.
So when you look at, to compound the shock factor of this, you look at how much exercise do they say that we need, right? So the Centers for Disease Control, CDC here in the United States, here's their recommendation that adults should get 150 minutes per week of moderate exercise, 150 minutes per week. So basically 20 minutes a day if you did it every day. You did it 5 times a week, it's a half hour a day. People aren't doing that. Or you can get 75 minutes of vigorous exercise. So you're working a little bit harder than just going out for a walk or something like that. But think about that, 75 minutes per week of a little bit more vigorous exercise. If you did that 4 days a week, it's less than 20 minutes a day, and people aren't doing it. That's a problem.
Yeah, it definitely is. We got to find out, why people aren't doing it. Because, look, I think if you talk to, look, when we were away, you can see, like, people would come up to us and we talk about exercise, we talk about working out, and things like that. And people want to work out. They want to exercise. They want to feel better. And look, they know the benefits. Like, it's been drilled into us, the benefits of exercise. So it is like, why the hell aren't people doing it, man?
I think it's not rocket science that if you're physically active, you're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. You're going to start to look better. So that begs the question, why aren't people doing it? So let's take a look at a few of those reasons. These are the top reasons why people report that they don't exercise. Now, being from the Abs Company, a fitness company, and people who believe that fitness changes lives, I'd like to replace that word reason with excuse. People are making an excuse, and they're basically saying, I choose not to exercise because of these reasons. So let's take a few of them. The first one's time. People say, I just don't have enough time to exercise. So you look at it, go back to the CDC recommendations, 20 minutes a day. You don't have 20 minutes a day? So what do you think about that?
Well, again, definitely an excuse. And at the end of the day, look, we all are tremendously busy. I mean, we're running a business. We have families, young babies, families. You exercise 45 minutes to an hour a day, as I do as well. And, it's just, people are not making it a priority, essentially, right? They're making an excuse, but it's got to be part of it's not a priority. So it's a bullshit excuse for sure. Everybody, if you don't have 20 minutes, at least 4 to 5 days a week, you better check your schedule, dude. I don't know what the hell you're doing. The president has freaking time to work out, right? So, I mean, no.
Yeah, and look, as the old saying goes, if you don't have time to exercise, you better start making time to be sick, because that's where you're headed. So it doesn't take that much. So it's a nonsense excuse. And we'll talk about some solutions to these excuses in a bit. But let's go to the next one. Convenience. It's just not convenient for me to exercise, right? The club is too far from my house, or my workplace doesn't offer any type of workout facility, or any other reason that comes into convenience for you. There's too much traffic getting there. The parking lot's full. It's not convenient for me. What would you say to those people?
Well, I would say, again, some planning would be great for that. But look, if you just have a pair of sneakers, you can go out for a jog or go out for a walk, number one. There's tons of stuff that you can even do at home. You can find on any type of exercise. I love training in a gym and working out in the gym. But for some folks, maybe if one day you just are not able to get to the gym, you can do plenty of stuff right at home. For sure. So to me, no, it's a terrible excuse not to move, not to exercise, to do something for sure.
Yeah, and I think that it's, when they look at that and they say, well, it's not convenient for me, that may be a legitimate reason in their mind. Yeah. But as we'll talk about in a few minutes, we have to give them ways to overcome that and make it convenient for them. Mm-hmm. So number 3 is intimidation, right? People are intimidated to exercise because they're not in good shape, right? They say, hey, oh boy, it's going to be scary. There's a lot of influences out there on what exercise should be nowadays. People are getting it on social media. People are seeing it on the news. And that can be intimidating. You see it on the commercials, these really fit people doing these really hard things. If you're someone who's just starting or hasn't worked out in years, I can see why it would be intimidating. We got to get past that excuse. So what have you seen there with people being intimidated, especially newcomers to exercise?
Yeah, I think, even folks with really good intentions, they made the commitment, at least in their mind. They joined a health club and they're going to get in their car and they're going to drive there. They got their new little workout gear on. They got their new little sneakers and they're walking in, and all of a sudden, like, they open the door and, like you say, they see some fit people, not all probably, but in their mind, everyone's more fit than them. And you see a whole lot of stuff that they don't know what to do with, right? And, I use the analogy, which I stole from you, actually, is I heard you say it one time, so I stole it. But it really applies better to me because you're pretty handy. I'll give you some credit there. And I'm terrible at fixing things. And I'm just, look, I admit it, that's not one of my strengths. So what I see is, like, when somebody like for me, when I walk into a Home Depot or a Lowe's, I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know where to go. And I think a lot of folks, when they walk into a gym, they feel the same way. Now, me and you and I, we can walk into any gym in the world and train and work out and get a great workout with anything. But there's so many people that when they walk in, even though we're saying it's not intimidating, no judgments and all this kind of thing, they're intimidated. They're intimidated by what they see, by the impressions that they have. And it's tough, man. It's really, really tough.
Yeah, I think it's a super valid concern for people, is that they will be intimidated. In the industry, we talk a lot about that. It's everybody's welcome, and there isn't. But a lot of facilities really aren't living up to the words that they're putting out there. Some do a great job of it, and others are very well intentioned, but it's still very intimidating to folks. And that kind of dovetails into the next one that we hear a lot is that people have a lack of knowledge. They just don't know what to do, right? I want to get in shape, but what do I do? Now, at its most simple level, you alluded to before, do you have a pair of sneakers? Yep. Go for a walk. That's something, right? But beyond that, I don't know what to do. So, what can we do to help people have a better understanding? A, that it doesn't take that much. And here are some simple things that you can do right in the comfort of your home, or when you go to the gym. You don't have to be doing these high intensity or these, very difficult moves to get fit. So if we can increase knowledge, maybe we can get more people involved as well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes from being at the gym, right? And going there. Obviously, anytime you walk in somewhere for the first time, you're not going to know a whole lot, most likely. And especially maybe if you had a bad experience back in gym class, and exercise is not something that, in your mind that you excelled at or that you were good at, quote unquote, and you walk in and you don't know anything. That's where like the staff at the gym can do just an amazing job in helping everyone, not just the fit people, but those folks when they walk in to make everyone feel welcome. Take them around, show them what to do. Even just a couple minutes, people will have a chance to really win there. But the lack of knowledge is huge. And again, it's about, it goes back to being intimidated for sure.
Yeah, and today, calling it what it is in a 2019 world, lack of knowledge on anything is inexcusable. There's something called Google. Just look it up. How do I get in shape? I've never done anything. A million things are going to come up. But, in people's minds, they're like, oh, I don't know what to do, so I'll do nothing. But their want to is not bad enough. It's not big enough yet. When they.
I think too, we see stuff. We see stuff on, on Instagram, all these crazy types of exercises for people, doing these exercises or standing on their head and or doing these nutty things on there. I think there's a lot of misinformation out here as well, right? So you see that, you're like, oh man, I can't do that, or that's crazy. We're going to talk again in a minute how we've really been able to help solve that problem, I believe. But yeah, you see a lot of stuff too on Instagram and socials where it's like, holy cow, I can't do that. So maybe I shouldn't even go to the gym,
Sure. And that's where the belief that they have to be fit before they start exercising comes from. There's not too many great Instagram pages of unfit people showing their journey, right? You're not seeing the journey. You're seeing the after. You're seeing someone with great genetics. You're seeing all this stuff. So people think, oh, well, in order to do that, you have to be super fit, right? And that's a big problem too, from a mental standpoint. They have to get past that and say, no, this isn't where even these folks on Instagram, it's not where they started, right? This is later down the road. There's simple things that you can do. And like you said, we'll talk about it. But another problem people bring up often you hear is, well, I can't afford it. I can't afford to get fit. I can't afford to eat healthy. And again, I think it's just that another mental barrier that they're putting up for themselves because, again, you don't have to join a facility. Now, we highly encourage it because you're going to overcome a lot of problems by joining a facility where there is a community and where there are real fitness professionals who can help you. But here's the great thing that we've seen over the past, 5-10 years is that the price of getting into a fitness facility has come way down. Right? When we used to own health clubs, $70, $80 a month was a general basic membership. Now, $10, $20 a month gives you access to an amazing facility. So the idea that people can't afford it, I would have to leave that in the bucket of another excuse.
Yeah, that blows my mind big time, especially when you go to a Starbucks or any coffee shop, right? You walk in, you get a couple coffees. I'm not a fancy coffee guy. I just, coffee black, whatever, but you get some of those fancy drinks that we know our friends like to have. And that's $10 right there, so that was one day or, you're $7-8 for one day and you're talking about $10, $20 a month, man. And
right.
you're doing that and stupid stuff like coffees and things. And again, it's a priority, right? Making it a priority, looking at what your budget is. $10 a month, I'm sure you can fit that in somewhere. $20 a month, same thing. You're blowing it. I guarantee you're blowing $20 a month on a lot of other stupid stuff.
100%. One of the things I've learned, in my career is oftentimes, in my early days, I would make an assumption, oh, this person's not going to buy whatever it was I'm selling because of cost or whatever. Yep. And they surprise you and they buy it. And I learned really quickly that people have money for the things that they want, right? And people have time for the things that they want as well.
True.
right? So it's just, we have to get them past those reasons, because you're exactly right. Oh, you don't have $10 to join the gym? I bet you we could find that in your budget somewhere.
And, I talked to folks recently too. This is interesting that we're talking about this today, because it was such like a chore for them to go to the gym, and it just was, it was a shame. It's just like, oh, I gotta go to the gym. And, but I get that. Sometimes it takes a couple times to get through it. But what I also saw in that is, typically when you start working out, you go to a gym, you're going to engage in other healthy behaviors, right? So you're going to eat healthier. You're going to stop smoking. You're going to probably drink alcohol a little bit less, etc. So when you're doing that, it's going to help. But when the health clubs and we as an industry don't make our facilities welcoming, and like you said, where anyone, not just the fit, but anyone can come in and work out, it really is almost like a chore for folks. And we know that that's going to lead to a couple things, right? They're not going to come back, most likely. They're not going to win for sure. And then some of those other healthy benefits beyond the physical stuff, like eating healthy, beyond the gym walls, you're not going to engage in those healthy behaviors either. So it's really, we got to nail this down. I mean, the stats you talked about earlier were terrible. So we really got to nail this down as an industry, man. We just have to.
Yeah. And the last reason that we hear a lot is people just say, well, it's no fun.
You're right.
And again, if you think about the other reasons we just spoke about, where people don't have time, it's inconvenient, I'm intimidated, I don't know what to do, I got to get in shape first, and I can't afford it. Well, I would agree then. That's not going to be fun for you. If those are all the beliefs that you have about exercise and about fitness and a healthy lifestyle, none of that sounds fun, right? So we have to get past that. And I think if you start to overcome the first 5 or 6 objections, we can find an activity that people are going to enjoy. Because people have asked me all the time for years, well, what's the best thing to do? Like, the best thing to do is the one that you're going to do, right? I can tell you the best thing to do. I could tell you it's running. You're like, well, I don't like the run. Okay, cool. Well, do you like the cycle? Great, do that, right? So I think that it's another mindset that we have to get past. And that's kind of the common thread that I see in all these. Are really mindset problems. They're not physical problems. They're not financial problems. They're not schedule problems. They're mindset problems. And we as the industry have to do a better job of getting that case out there to overcome those mindsets, to break through those mindsets. And that's where hopefully we can see a difference.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. We're going to need that. We see more and more health clubs opening up every day, right? Even small boutiques, small group training, all these types of things. But a lot of times we see that we're fighting for the same person. Mm-hmm. It's that person that's already fit. It's that person that's already going to the gym. You're just taking them from one facility to another. It's getting that person off the couch. It's getting them to come in when maybe they've never worked out before. And they finally got to a point where, they're tired of having no energy. They're tired of being embarrassed. Because let's face it, that sucks, man. Like, if you go through life and like we were at the beach this past weekend or this last week, and you can see people like they feel they're taking their shirt off to go in the ocean or whatever. They feel terrible about that. It's like, man, that sucks. You can't live. That's no way to live life. So again, as an industry, we really got to get to that point to make this where they feel welcome. It's fun, and we can help people win. We just got to get there.
So let's review for a second where we've been. We believe that fitness changes lives, right? We can agree on that.
Yeah.
The benefits of a healthy lifestyle are undeniable. We talked about them. Decreased risk of almost nearly every disease out there, better weight control, more energy, looking better, so on and so forth. Yet most people don't do it, right? 23% of worldwide adults get the right amount of activity, and only 20% of adolescents. That's the scary one.
Yeah.
We said the CDC is telling us you only need 20 minutes. So with all that being said, why aren't they doing it? We gave us some great reasons. So now it's solution time. Let's put on our fix-it hats and say, okay, here's some things that can be done. Here's some great things that are being done to get past this. Because here's what I can tell you. I've been in the industry over 20 years. These reasons haven't changed in 20 years. The statistics of the amount of people exercising or sticking with an exercise program really hasn't changed that much. So we're missing somewhere. But there's really some great things that are going on in the industry right now, some great companies and great initiatives. And there's some ways to overcome these. So let's talk about time, right? there's a lot of groups out there now that are pushing shorter workouts. Now, granted, you have to be a little bit higher intensity to do those because time and intensity kind of, they correlate in that way. It's called an inverse relationship. The higher the intensity, the less time. The problem is people are pushing the intensity levels too high, and users are getting hurt. They're not having fun at it. So is there a middle ground there? Can you do a little bit more than just go for a walk, but not have to go all the way to the extreme athletics?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you walk into a health club, I think the health club, number one, has really, as far as time-wise, have those areas where when someone walks in, maybe have that 30-minute workout where they can come in and say, hey, here's a little program for you. You do some of your abs on an ab coaster. You do some elliptical, et cetera, some bench press, these types of things. But yeah, 100%. Like, we can do a great job in saying you don't have to kill yourself in 25 to 30 minutes because, again, those people, like you said, they're probably not going to come back. That's not good. That's definitely not what we don't want, right? But can you get a really good workout in 30 minutes? Hell yeah, you can. And without killing yourself, hell yeah. But again, it comes down to the health clubs having the equipment in the right area, the right spot, the right training there, and some really good, just some basic programming. So for sure, we can definitely do it.
Yeah, I think the other thing there is, of course, health clubs want people to show up.
Yes.
Right? Because members who show up to clubs generally remain members longer, and the potential for them to spend money while they're there is much greater. But when that new intimidated member comes in, they're often telling them, yeah, you got to be here 3 days a week or 4 days a week, 5 days a week. Here's someone who's never exercised before. Why don't we tell them you have to come 1 day a week for the first month? That's all you have to do. There's your time commitment. Commit to 1 day.
1 day a week.
That you'll come in here. That's all the time that we're asking for. And you'll start to see it grow from there, because what I've found in my experience is people in general want to honor their commitments. Yeah. So if we can get them to commit to that 1 day, I just need you to come here, Mike, 1 day a week for 25 minutes. That's all I need from you in month one. And we'll grow from there. Can you do that? I think we'd start to see a little bit different answer from people instead of you got to come 3 days a week, and you got to work out for 40 minutes in the fat burning zone, all this vernacular that goes around the industry. Of course, it's going to scare people away. So we have to flip that time conversation to something that's a little bit more palatable to people.
Yeah, we know, look, being in the industry, anyone that's been around for a bit, for you to win here and be consistent, it has to be part of your lifestyle, right? It just has to be. And how many friends do you know, or do you have, well, you don't actually have a lot of friends, but
no,
maybe I'll say people that you know, like I know a guy that will go balls to the wall for 3 months, eat salads and drink a gallon of water every day, go to the gym 6 days a week, but it's not sustainable. And we've had this count. He's done this for the past 10 years. And it's like, dude, that was a good point I just made. Why are you doing that to yourself? At the end, you're going to hate it. You're not having a good time. It's no fun. Goes back to those reasons. But again, that goes back to too, is lack of knowledge, right? As far as, I got to kill myself. I got to be here for 2 hours. You don't have to be that. It doesn't have to.
So that was a really long-winded way of saying that the time objection. you have to get away from telling people that you need to put all this time in, especially in the beginning. You want to work toward this amount of time.
Yes.
But convenience, right? I think the time and convenience too are really closely linked. Again, people who feel that getting to the club is not convenient for them, what about them joining as members and giving them something? Okay, you're going to, after you got this 1 day a week that you're coming here, we've eliminated that time issue. We're going to give you a couple things that you can do at home to sustain that healthy lifestyle in the other 6 days. We're going to make it super convenient for you to get in shape as a member of XYZ Club, because not only are you going to have the use of this wonderful facility whenever you want it, but we're going to give you a nod so when that you're not here, we make it convenient for you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of apps now where you join a health club, right?
Yeah.
And they're encouraging you. Before it was kind of like, do we really want to go down that road? But they understand, just like you said, we want people to engage in these healthy behaviors because we want them to come back. They're going to come back. Just because they work out 1 day at home isn't the end of the world. We want them to stay engaged and stay exercising. So you have apps, you have things at your fingertips now. And even if you're traveling, right? Because we travel a lot. you can always get in a workout. Look at your app, look at the exercises right in your hotel room, etc. So
Yeah, it's a great point because a lot of the clubs were intimidated by giving people options for outside of the club because they fear that they wouldn't come back. But exactly the opposite is true. As you said before, once they make fitness a part of their lifestyle, they're going to want to come back to the club as opposed to the opposite. But here's a big one for me that we really need to solve, and it's intimidation. You know, when I started in the industry, I came out from my athletics background, and I thought that was fitness, right? Performance and getting the fitter, and that's what I was about.
Yep.
But the more I got into it, and the more I really saw the effects of not having a healthy lifestyle, I realized, man, that totally misses the boat. Because the fit people, somebody like you're going to find a way to get your exercise in no matter where you are, no matter what time it is, no matter what equipment you have. You really don't need my help, right? But there's so many other people, these 80% of people that are not getting the activity, who are intimidated. So they come to the club if they mustered up the courage to show up to the club. Generally, the first thing they see is really fit people doing really scary things. And as you said before, they're seeing it on the social media and like, forget it, that could never be me. So how can facilities help these folks when they come through the doors for the first time? They're shaking in their boots, your Home Depot analogy. How do they make them feel comfortable when they get there?
Well, I think the number one thing is, you know, you have that staff, obviously, you have people welcoming, hey, welcome to our club, and you get to feel comfortable, right? That's first and foremost. It may sound small, it may sound insignificant, however I like to say that. There should be a beep there, but yeah, that's first of it. That's part of it. But I also think that having designated areas, like a designated abs area, like a designated cardio area, where people can find what they want, what they know, like, okay, I know if I can just go over here and jump on the ab coaster or the abs bench, I'm doing something. I feel it. I feel good. You know, I'm feeling confident. Okay, I'm good. I get on the elliptical. I get on the shoulder press machine, etc. Right? Do some leg curls or something, whatever. But you make it where when people walk in, they can find stuff. Stuff isn't all over the place. And you have some of that other more quote unquote intimidating stuff, the monkey bars and all this kind of stuff. You have that towards the back of the club. And you have these types of areas where everybody can win. Right there, easy to find, easy to see. And you see, you know, people doing it. Oh, I can do that, you know? Yeah. So I think that's really important that we have that, because a lot of times you walk into clubs now, you see this big open turf, which is cool. And I like the open turf too, but it's like, okay, I don't know what the hell to do on that turf. So it's like, folks like to have machines they can use. They like to be able to win. So that's what we have to really be able to help them win and empower them to do that.
Yeah, I think as an industry, there's a continuum. You know me, I love my continuums.
Yes.
And when we were in the club business, you would have just rooms packed with equipment.
Yeah.
And there was certainly some redundancy there. Like, how many calf raises do you need? How many shoulder, right? So now we've swung to the other side. The pendulum really swung, and clubs are really starting to take equipment out. And again, I get it from the redundancy standpoint. You do want these open areas. It's really popular. But when you go too far and the members come in and there's nothing for them because this turf is packed with people doing really crazy things, of course that person, that newcomer, is not going to come back. They need to get on the treadmill and just be able to hit start. They need to be able to go to an abs and stretching area and get a workout. And they need to be able to sit on that selectorized machine.
Yeah.
And I don't care how fit you are or what level you're at. I know I could put you through a selectorized circuit and whoop you, right? Yeah. Because your body doesn't know what you're doing. People always forget, this is the best. No, it's not. Your body, from a physiological standpoint, and that's my background. I have a master's in clinical physiology, so I studied this a little bit.
Look at you. Look at you.
The body, look at me. I actually went to school.
Look at you.
The body has one instinct, and it's to survive. And when you challenge it, whatever that may be, the body's going to adapt and get better. So if you're someone who only does functional fitness all the time and you go to a more traditional workout, believe me, you're going to feel it the next day, and vice versa, right? So there's nothing wrong with basic, even single-use machines. And abs area, we've been putting them in for 20 years. Clubs members are still winning in that area. And when the member wins, the member comes back. And I just want to back up to one thing you said earlier, which is really true. When somebody walks into the club, they need to be greeted. Remember, you may remember this story. We were in Arizona, a wonderful club out there. We were training on one of our trips, and we were talking to the young girl at the desk. It was about 5:30 in the morning because we like to train early. And she said, "Oh, I'm just the front desk." And we both stopped in our tracks. Whoa, what did you say? She's like, "I'm just the front desk." I'm like, "Geez, you're not just anything. You're the face of the club." Because imagine walking into that club, you're scared, you're intimidated, and there's a friendly face. "Wow, welcome. Hey, nice to see you again, Mike." Of course, that's going to start it off on a great foot, as opposed to nobody paying attention to you because they're making a smoothie shake around the corner with some kale and protein powder. And you go in, you don't know what the heck to do. So yeah, we have to break down these walls of intimidation out there. And it can't just be lip service. We have to do it. We can't just put it on a logo. It has to be a way of life inside those clubs.
Yeah, and just to back that up too is I think a big thing we have to really check is as fitness professionals is our ego.
Yes.
Well, this is what I like.
Mm.
You know, how many times have we heard that, right?
Yep.
This is what I like. And before I used to be that guy. Hey, this is what I like, so it's the best. No, man, like what do the majority of people like? And so many times I talk with trainers, and there's some incredible trainers that are really changing lives, doing wonderful things. But a lot of folks, some that I've spoke to, I'll say, have this ego where they know everything, and I'm going to put my client on the floor, or I'm going to do this, or that's not what I don't like to use machines. Okay, dude, good for you. But how about the majority of people that are coming in? Look around the club. What are people using? Are they on the turf? Yes, some, but I guarantee you more people are on the machines. So take a look at that, you know, and we got to really check our egos there as far as what I like versus what's the good for the member. Really important to do that.
Yeah, super important. I tell this story often. You've heard me tell it probably a million times. So you know this one, but for the 5 people listening, you may not have heard this one. Right. A good friend of mine, his family is big in the franchising. They own franchise of all types.
Oh, yeah.
Restaurants, mainly in the food services where they're really big. But they own a large contingent of a very popular hamburger franchise. Do very, very well with that.
Right.
One of the largest franchisees in that entire chain. The amazing thing is they're vegans. Here they are. It's not about what they like. They went in, they're creating a business to serve their communities because they know that people like hamburgers. They don't like them, but they're providing a service. But in the fitness industry, you're absolutely right. We hear it all the time. Well, I don't like this. I. Well, you aren't paying the bills. You aren't the one trying to get fit here. You can introduce what you like later. Or now let's find out what they like. Let's give them something. And to me, it always starts right on the membership tour. I always say, you got to get people on at least 3 pieces of equipment on every membership tour. And based on their fitness level, they best be the simple ones. Get them on that elliptical where they can just get on there and move a little bit. Get them on an abs piece, a vertical crunch, an ab coaster where they can just get it and feel it right away and show them. Yeah, you got somebody a little bit more fit. Sure, show them one of those things that's a little bit more advanced. But know your audience in there. And like you said, take your ego and take your pride out of it because it's not about you. It's about them and about getting them fit. So to wrap this up, you know, here at the Abs Company, our belief, our mission, our purpose is we change lives from the core. And we believe that fitness changes lives. But the really important thing is that we believe that for everybody. We are not about just trying to get the fitter. We've got something for you, whether you are a day one beginner or whether you are a professional athlete. You can find our products in homes. You can find them in professional sports teams, training facilities. We'll run the gamut. But as an industry and collectively, we need to keep that mentality first place, that we need more people to join this movement of fitness. And like I said, in the 20 years I've been doing this, the numbers really haven't changed that much. And I think we're missing on some really simple points. And there's always going to be a flow, right? People are going to come, people are going to stop going, so on and so forth. But if we can just change one more life through fitness, I think we've done a heck of a job. But anyway, guys, that's what we have for you today. Fitness changes lives. Here at the Abs Company, we change lives from the core. Happy to have you be a part of that. Remember, the core of success is you, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.